What's up, guys? This will be the first in my Predator review series. I have reviewed the first Predator way back in my channel days, like 3 years ago. Gonna be doing a Predator revisited for that, for sure, because Predator is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I recently just rewatched Predators. I haven't seen this movie in years, and it was a good experience. And I thought, you know what? I'll start with Predators since it's fresh in my head. So anyway, here's my review for Predators. Predators stars Adrian Brody, Lawrence Fishburn, and is directed by Nimród Antal. So I'm racking my brain figuring out where to begin with this review. I guess at the beginning, right? Predators was a movie that came out quite a few years after Predator 2. Because if you remember, after Predator 2 we had Alien vs. Predator, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. So then finally they were like, hey, let's go ahead and kick open the Predator franchise again. So they did it with Predators, and I think they had a lot of good things going for it. First off, this will be a spoiler review. It's an older movie, so it's going to be a spoiler review. But I think if we want to just jump right into the pros and cons, because the premise itself to me is a pro. So I might as well just go ahead and jump into the pros and cons. And the first pro is the premise. And the premise is, right at the beginning of the movie, you got this plane, and then all of a sudden, really the first thing you see is, you know, the characters of this movie literally falling from the sky and waking up in the sky, and then they land in this forest. When they wake up, they don't know each other, and they're thinking, why in the hell I'm here, what is going on, and how in the hell did I get here? And to me, that was a really interesting premise. You know, I like a movie that starts off with the characters not knowing anything and the audience not knowing anything. So it's like we're all discovering things together. And that's what was going on in this movie. So it gives us a chance to get to know the characters, you know, kind of peel the layers back a bit. And every one of these characters are very different. That's another thing that I really liked about this.
Who are you?
I was supposed to be executed 2 days ago.
No, I was in combat. So was I.
Black Ops.
Yakuza.
First off, Adrian Brody, he's filling that hero role, you know, that Arnold Schwarzenegger role that we know and love from Predator. How do you top Arnold Schwarzenegger? But that's for the cons. We're going to get into the cons. Still, I think Adrian Brody did a good job. And plus, I don't think you want to put another character that's as big as Arnold in there. They went the T-1000 route, you know, for the second Terminator. Yeah, Arnold was in there, but the new Terminator was slicker, thinner. So I think that's the thinking for this one. They went for a more agile type of soldier who was thinner, but very intelligent, and you know, just knew his way around the jungle, knew how to track, knew how to hunt, do all that stuff. And so he was perfect for that leadership role. And I thought Adrian Brody actually did a really good job. You know, he's pretty much the same character throughout the whole movie. Hell, most of these characters, there's really no character arc. See, I'm jumping into the cons again. There's really no big character arc except for what they're discovering, you know, with the predators along the way. But as far as themselves, they're still the same people throughout. But then you got Topher Gracie, who is probably the biggest question mark at the beginning because he doesn't really know that much about himself. We assume that he's maybe kind of a doctor type role, but it's all revealed in the end that he's really this like killer, like this serial killer, just a different type of killer. The big revelation at the end of the movie is they're all predators in their own way, which is an interesting angle. And then you got Isabel, who is pretty much like the female character in the first movie. She reminded me of her so much. And she pretty much was just like her throughout this whole movie. But Walton Goggins, how can you not mention him? This is one of those actors that's been in the business for 20, 25 years, maybe even longer. And he's just never really gotten his due. And I think he did get his due with The Hateful Eight. But every movie he's in, he steals the show. He steals every scene that he's in. He's just not in the movie long enough. And that's what he is in this movie. The scene where he says he's going to do so much cocaine when he gets back, you know, hilarious. He's one of those characters that I wanted to last till the end, actually, just because he's so interesting. And then you got Lawrence Fishburne, who plays Normand, and he's the guy that's been there for a long time. So he's pretty much figured out how to survive. Pacing-wise, too, this movie does keep you interested through the whole thing. It's got a nice third act. There are some hills and valleys along the way to get to know the characters. There's that great moment where they reference the first movie. That's one of my favorite scenes, actually. It's really cool continuity-wise to know that the first movie existed in this universe, that they talk about, you know, the aftermath of that. And then also, Derek Mears actually plays one of the Predators. Derek Mears was Jason in the last Jason movie. Anytime Derek Mears is in anything, it's a good thing. And the Predator action was pretty damn cool in this. This one, you had more than one Predator, hence Predators. But you got that one scene where Royce, played by Adrian Brody, he goes up to the one Predator that's like a captive, and he's like, get me to the ship, and, you know, help me, I'll help you type deal. So that was interesting. But now for the biggest con for this movie, you're always going to compare it to the first. That's the problem. The first movie to me is one of the greatest action films I've ever seen. It's so satisfying. Every character in that movie, for the most part, is just top notch. You know, top of their game. To try to make a movie that has characters of that caliber, this one, I don't want to say fails miserably, but you know, these characters are a little bit more forgettable, I think, than the first one. Having said that, though, I still had a good time with Predators. It's a fun ride. It's a slick-looking movie. It looks beautiful, actually. I have talked to some people online that did not like this movie at all. But, I mean, if you want just a straight-up fun action Predator movie, you could do a lot worse. This is far better than any of the AVPs. And that's not saying much. But, yeah, I will definitely give it, like, a low purchase worthy. That's what I'll give it. I think it's better than a HUMDRUM. And plus, if you're a Predator fan, you're going to buy it anyway. So, yeah, it's really good. I'll reserve my ranking for it until I rank all the movies. But yeah, it's definitely a good Predator movie. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on Predators? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to get a Drumdums t-shirt like my Drumdums Crow t-shirt right here, or a Killer Flicks t-shirt, be sure to come over to the Drumdums store where you can buy one. Also, come over to Killer Flicks where we talk horror all day and every day, and on Fridays we do Free for Fridays. Are you looking forward to Predator, the new Predator movie coming in September? I know I am. Shane Black. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.